sometime tomorrow,
Okay.
the latest. But yeah, the beta was able to finish it, dude. Honestly, it was really um, just an eye opener for me. Honestly, um, just kind of what like Philip was talking about, and just like the mindset and kind of like his backstory. It's like um, I don't know. I feel like really intrigued of his story and just like how he was able to build from basically from zero to like where he is today.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that was pretty fascinating just to see his build up from there.
Yeah, like his upbringing, huh?
Yeah,
No, yeah, that's nice, man. I mean, yeah, I was literally just about to ask, what did you take away from the video? And so, you know, yeah, man, there's definitely like some things, like when I first watched the video too, like that definitely, impressed me. But I also, like when he kind of talked about like the circle, like the quadrant, or not the quadrants, like
yeah,
I think it was like the light, like the wheel of life.
yeah.
What did you think about that?
That was pretty interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Finally, just allowed to balance out the stuff. It's like just getting like an overview of it. It's like it's crazy. It's crazy. Like a lot we have to balance out, and it's like I guess just something that I have to kind of like think about as I progress, like in my career and just like for personal development wise.
Yeah.
Just something I have to kind of like keep in mind and making sure like using like the analogy of like the stove, like turning on certain areas of your life and then turning off some
Yeah,
aspects.
exactly. No, yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, yeah, man. I mean, I'd love to hear more about it. Like what else you got from it? My business partner actually joined Tona, the guy who I wanted to introduce you to, and so I feel like he can he might also ask you some questions. Want to get to know you, but
Mm.
yeah, I mean he's gonna maybe show you like some slides, and then we might talk about some like maybe like the ESBI quadrants. I know I think if you read a little bit of the book, like the beginning, like you saw like the four quadrants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, for sure. Yeah. So I mean, we might talk up a little bit about that. But here, let him join.
Okay.
But no, yeah. I mean, you know, this is someone who's helped me scale up my business a lot, and he's actually say helped me throughout like my whole process. Just kind of like I want to taking you through the process, teaching you about my business. He did the exact same thing for me, and so because of that, I really look up to him, and unfortunately he's not local here in Merced, which is
Oh, gotcha.
it would be fortunate, but he's actually located in San Jose, and he's actually
Okay.
going to San Jose State University, and I think like what I'd say like what really impressed me because he actually reached out to me on LinkedIn too, was that he was 19 years old, he was a business owner, and he worked for Meta. So I was like, dang, how does he do that? And not just that, but he worked for Meta and also Levi Stadium. So like he's working two jobs, full time student and a business owner. So I'm like, okay, this guy definitely knows something that I don't know. So I was like, I gotta learn from
Yeah.
this guy. But yeah, I think let me see if he joined up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Let's see. Oh, there he is. Yeah, yeah, we can hear you.
Hello? How's it going, guys?
It's going good. Thank you. How yourself?
I'm doing great. How's your guys' day so far?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah. So far, so good.
Nice, nice. Nice to meet you. Is it Javi?
Yeah. Nice meeting you.
Javier?
Yeah.
You go by Javi?
Yeah, Howie for sure.
I knew a couple Javis. Yeah. Yeah, how are you?
I've been good. Thank you. How about yourself?
I've been doing good too, yeah. Are you over there in Merced with Chris?
Yeah, currently, yeah, full-time student here in UC Merced.
Ah, okay. I see. And what are you studying over there?
Currently I'm studying civil engineering with a minor in philosophy.
So you're an engineer.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what made you pick engineering?
Honestly, it's just ever since I was a kid, just like my passion. I don't know, just something about me as a kid. I was like very observant of like the infrastructure around me, and I always questioned to my teachers. And one of my teachers in fifth grade told me about architecture, and I had that name stuck in my mind like for so long until like I hit high school, like architecture. It's like, and I was able to talk with some professors, and I was able to get some skills, like being able to really dive deep into like the world of architecture and engineering. And another professor of mine, he introduced me to civil engineering, and I just, I went with civil engineering since it was like just more subfields around it, and it just like it was very impressive for me.
Okay, yeah, that's great to hear. So so then that's why you're kind of pursuing an engineer, and you said you had a minor in
Philosophy.
philosophy.
Yeah.
Well, what made you pick that minor?
Honestly, it was it was during high school. I took some philosophy courses, just because I wanted to like get an understanding of what it was. And after taking some courses, I fell in love with it. Just being able to like really be able to like strengthen my thinking skills, my critical thinking, and it was just something that it will like really fall hand in hand with my engineering career. And it's like it goes like both ways for me. It's like it was for like passion and then career development. And it was like,
I see.
hey,
Yeah,
like, why not?
I can kind of tell that most of the things you chose, the path you decided to take was based on some of the things you liked, like you said, which is your passion, which you would say was what, architecture and kind of in philosophy as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I want to know a little bit more. What's kind of like your plan then? What year are you?
I'm a second year.
Second. Oh, okay, just like Chris.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I'm also a student as well. I'm in my third year though, finishing up my third year.
Oh, okay.
I'm not over there in Merced. I'm actually from San Jose, so up here in the Bay Area. Are you originally from like the Merced area?
No, actually, I'm originally from Elk Grove, so Sacramento area.
Oh, okay. I've been to Elk Grove before. Okay. Yeah, I know where Elk Grove's at. So you're way further up north then.
Yeah.
And you're living on campus now?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I see. Yeah. So yeah, you're finishing up your second year right now. Are you working?
Currently I'm not, no.
Not working. Okay. Yeah. So I was wondering, what's kind of been your plan in the direction of engineering with philosophy?
Honestly, I was thinking of like doing some research over my course of 4 years here at UC Merced. Because kind of like my long-term goal is to go to grad school and then try to pursue either a master's or a PhD. And then from there, going to head to the industry. And then hopefully go into management. And then from there, if opportunity arises, open my own firm.
Okay, I see. Yeah. Do you have any work experience right now?
Honestly, not really, man.
Okay, see, so that's honestly, the first thing I saw is that because that's what I see now. My third year, all my friends from who graduated already are either struggling to find a job, or working a minimum wage job, or not even just there's no jobs basically. I mean, I don't know about Merced over there, but I feel like everywhere here in California, the job market is very saturated. Because at this point, they're not just looking for the piece of paper that says you graduate, right? Even I've talked to a student before with a master's degree, struggling to find a job, and that's the truth. Because in reality, what they're looking for is not just the piece of paper; it's your experience. They're looking for your soft skills. They're looking for what are those things you have done.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what someone like me, someone like Chris, have been really focused on developing right now. Which kind of brings me to my next question. Given your plan right now, what made you want to sit down, engineer background, right? What made you want to sit down with Chris to talk a little bit about business? Like, how does this kind of play into your goals?
Honestly, what I was saying, Chris, was basically for me. Besides, like kind of like my academics, business was also something up my alley of interest. Just seeing like, I guess like just seeing like famous entrepreneurs, I guess out there like having like their own little startups and business. I was like, hey, why not? Why not be interested in that? And kind of like how I feel like my own personal goals is like, since I want to open up a firm I don't have like any idea like how business like structure is, like how business like could be successful, like what are the pros and cons, stuff like that. And since me and Christopher are like in business society, and during my internship in business society, Christopher mentioned that he was an entrepreneur, and I was like, hey, why not hit him up? Since I guess I have like some sort of acquaintance with him, since we're like in the same same club and stuff. I was like, I might as well like kind of get networking with him, seeing if I could get some some knowledge based on this experience, and just be able to really grow.
Okay, yeah, I see. So you met Chris from the club then?
Yeah,
he's told me a bit about that club. Okay, I've heard a little bit about it. So are you the type of person try different side hustles, look into different business opportunities usually?
Honestly, yeah. I guess for me, it's more so like I guess just like the fear of like wanting to do that. But for me, I was always interested like in side hustles. Like I always wanted to at least start one, or at least be able to have the opportunity to do one. But it's like I just never. I always felt like either I didn't have like the enough skill sets to do it, or I just didn't have like the correct networking.
Okay. So you kind of never got started with anything because those were some of the things holding you back. Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Because in reality, that's why most people fail. For me, I did like many different types of things for business, like drop shipping. I started a clothing brand. Day trading, that was my main thing. I lost a lot of money day trading. But the two biggest reasons why those things didn't work out, and it's the same two reasons, most small businesses fail. It's the same two reasons why somebody never gets started with anything. It's because one, they lack capital, the money to actually open up that firm, right?
Yeah.
And the second thing they lack is mentorship. They lack guidance. They lack direction. They lack the how and what. Wouldn't that make things a whole lot easier?
Yeah, that's true.
For me, I also picked my major based on, some of my passions, some of the things I really valued the most. And what I valued the most was the lifestyle of a business owner, which is not just money, but time, but peace of mind, but freedom. So that's what made me want to pick the business major, until I got here and realized that you get taught business by teachers, not by a business owner, not by someone with a successful source of passive income. You get taught by an employee. So I understood that, whether I got my master's, whether, I graduated in 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it was here at SJSU, I was only limited to just working 9 to 5 as an employee.
Yep.
And that's not what I wanted, right? I picked the business major because I wanted to live like a business owner. And that's not something it was going to get me. So that's why I understood, after, like I said, years of trying different things, that this type of business model is not only the one that'll work for me. The reason I'm so confident is because of the mentorship that we're following. So you and Chris kind of met up before. Did you guys?
Yeah.
And did Chris send you any material to look over?
Yeah, he sent me a video, and so I asked him a little bit more work. He sent me I guess a little book as well.
Okay. Yeah. So what did you think about the video that he sent?
Like I was saying, Christopher, the video itself was like really, I guess like really eye-opening to me. Just seeing like how Lee started from ground zero all the way to like where he is now. And just kind of like his mindset and like how it kind of like transpires to like actual society and like human beings. I found that really intriguing, and it also connects with me as well. Some of the aspects. I know that in his video he was talking about there are two different types of people. One who are people pleasers and one who are like passionate. And for me, like I was like the second one, like someone who's really passionate. The reason why I'm doing studies here is because I'm passionate about what I'm studying. You know, I'm not here to please anyone or, you know, stuff like that, but more so just to do it for myself and be able to be happy in the long run. And so, yeah, overall, it was just like the video was eye-opening. It was amazing to just see like different tools that he kind of, I guess he kind of used to kind of navigate through his life and through his entrepreneurship.
Right.
And to me, it was like, oh, some tools that I could even use on my personal life, you know, to be able to grow.
Right. Yeah. Like a lot of mindset.
Yeah.
So the guy in the video is actually our mentor. Did Chris tell you about that?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's our mentor, Phil. He's the guy that I've been following, that I went through our selection process to earn his trust, to earn his respect, to give him a reason why he should mentor me. And eventually, back then, I started my business when I was, 18 years old, in my first year of college. And then now, finishing up my third year, he's been the one who's obviously changed my business, but most importantly, changed my life. And that's something, really important that you want to look for when it comes to evaluating a business, right? Because I know you mentioned Chris sent you a book as well. Did you get a chance to read it?
I was able to read a couple pages. I wasn't able to fully finish the book, but I did tell him like I'll probably be able to be finished with it by tomorrow, the latest.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. So how far have you gotten in the book?
I was able to. I don't remember like the top of my head, but I was in the part where they're talking about like the 4 different types of. What they're called. He was telling me about
the 4 quadrants.
Yeah, I know what you're talking.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you got to kind of like that first part.
Yeah.
Okay. Because have you heard about the author before, Robert Kiyosaki?
I have not, no.
So he wrote a famous book. It was called Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard of that book?
Yeah, Christopher Samuel.
Yeah. A lot of people remember that. Yeah. So it's a really famous book, and it's a lot of the same concepts as those cash flow quadrants that you're reading about right now. But he wrote another book, which is the one you're reading, which is Business of the 21st Century.
Yeah.
Because in the second part, he talks further in detail about our business model, how exactly it works. I'm sure last time you and Chris met, you didn't go too in detail about it, but I think that's something you can do today. Obviously, yeah, it would have been better, if you read that part of the book. But it's something you can go back to after today, because it might clear up some questions or anything like that. So I have a slideshow right now. Can I get a co-host? I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen.
Would it be cool if I could take notes during your presentation?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah. You should. Awesome. You most definitely should.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you a notebook pen type of guy?
Yeah.
Dude, me too, actually. I'm so behind on the tech things. Actually today I've been struggling because my phone has been like broken or stuck. It's been in like a loop of the Apple screen.
Oh really?
And it's just it's been just like a crazy headache. I haven't been able to use my phone all day, but I'm just hoping to get it fixed. Yeah. But anyways, so you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. So before we get into talking about any type of business models or anything like that, you've kind of noticed so far from the meeting that you had last time with Chris, is that we're looking for a serious business partner, and for that we want to know who somebody is, and one of the things we want to know about them is their money blueprint. Do you know what that means?
I'll be honest, no, I don't.
Money blueprint. So it's like, well, essentially what it is kind of like your plan of how to earn, how to invest, how to make money, how to spend money too, right?
Okay.
But it goes a lot deeper into that, because what is your blueprint dependent on? It's dependent on your mindset. It's dependent on all those things. Your subconscious belief on what money is, how people make it, and what to do with it. For example, for someone like me, I come from a family of immigrants. Both my mom and my dad came to this country with no money, no English. So what I saw growing up was mom and dad couldn't spend time with me because they had to go work. That this money thing was something so valuable, they had to give up time from their son to go make it. So that's what gave me kind of the mindset, that money was so hard to make, so it was so, valuable. And it got further reinforced, 15 years old, started working, had to help pay bills, had to help pay rent. And I'm like, wow, I'm 15. I'm supposed to be, having fun, focusing on school. But instead, I'm going out to make money. This money thing must be so important. So that's why, growing up, I'm not much of a spender, right? I'm very frugal. I save with my money a lot. And most importantly, I didn't go out and take, too many risks until I decided that I needed to break away from this, drop shipping, day trading, things like that. But that's, how you can see all those little things that I saw growing up all the time. Somebody told me to go to school, get good grades so I can get into a good college, so I can get a good job. All the time people told me to work hard for your money, that money doesn't grow on trees. It all fed into me. It all just shaped my mindset on, how I should make money just like everybody else. And then you can compare that to somebody else's money blueprint. Maybe they come from a wealthier background where their parents provided a lot for them. Maybe they had a lot of time with their kids. These people have the mindset that money's abundant. There's a lot of it, enough to go around for everybody. So these are the type of people who are more inclined to go out and take risks, go out and start looking on different ways of how to make money with their money. So you can see that, it's all your money blueprint, the actions you take with your money. The reason you decided, I need to go to college is because somebody told me to. It's like societal programming, right? And, I don't think I would have gone to college if, I understood that all it was going to get me was a 9-to-5 job. I would have spent my high school years trying to do something else, but not something that came to me. And the reason your mom never tells you to go make passive income, the reason your teachers, kind of tell you to just focus on school, because that's what they were taught to. It's been generations of people taught to work for their money, to spend their time, trade it for money. And for some people, that's okay. For me, it's not what I want to do forever. And it's funny, kind of how this rat race works. You see on the bottom right, the picture of the slide with the days of the week on it. Have you ever wondered why we have a 2-day weekend?
Not really, no.
Never even thought about it, huh? No, me either. Because we were just born into it.
Yeah.
Right? I just knew Saturday, Sunday comes after Friday, which is the last day of school. That's all I knew. But there's actually a reason for that, because back then there were no labor laws, right? People could work 7 days a week, with no consequences. But when people started burning out, not coming back to work, that's where some of these smart business owners gave them a day to rest, which is their Saturday, a day for them to recharge and come back to work the next week. But that didn't keep them coming back. So they gave them a second day, a Sunday, 1 day to recharge, 1 day to spend the money they just made. That's why you see, most businesses are open on the weekends. Because people are off of work. They want to go spend the money they made. So that's what keeps them coming back. And you can see it's kind of just that cycle, which is a rat race, which is trading your time for money and continuing to do it. Some people are okay with it. For me, it's not what I want, right? My family came to this country, to give me a better life. So I feel like, it's kind of my obligation to not just provide that for myself, but to provide that for them as well. So that's why I want to go into this topic, which I talked about, a little bit earlier, which is, what is the reason I'm doing it all? Like I said, I chose the business major because I wanted a combination of money, time, and peace of mind. Unfortunately, that's not what it's going to get me. I was studying accounting, actually. My first year, I was studying accounting because my goal is to be a CPA. And, okay, I can make a lot of money, sure. But after the money, what else? My mentor tells me the same thing every time. I bet you would love to have Elon Musk's bank account. I bet you would hate to have his marriage. And it's true.
That's true, yeah.
It's true, exactly. Because, I take a look at life, okay, once I have the money, what else? And I realized it's these relationships that I make that matter to me. It's the time I spend with my family that matters to me. The time I spend, with my personal growth. If you were to ask me as a CPA, what impact and legacy am I leaving behind? Not much. I'm spending time counting other people's money when I want to count my own money, right? So, thinking about it on, a bigger scale, thinking of each individual major, I thought it was the business major. But looking at STEM, looking at what, kinesiology, whatever it is, which career path will get you all of these values? Because if I were to ask you in your dream life, 5 to 10 years ahead, how do you want to live your life? How many of these values would you want present?
Honestly, I'll probably say financial freedom, personal growth, and I guess family.
Yeah. For me, it would be all of them. Yeah. All 8 of them. Yeah. That's how I want to live my life, right? I want every single one of them. But unfortunately, like I said, which career path will get you all of them?
That's true.
None of them.
Yeah.
None of them, right? Like I said, you're just getting taught to work 9 to 5. So that's why I understood that, okay, I can have my 9 to 5 job, but I need something else on the side. I don't just need just anything else. I need an asset that's scalable. I need an asset that I can make at least 75% passive, because there's no such thing as 100% passive income. You get like max, 70, 80%. That's something I was looking for. Something to rely on. If there's another COVID pandemic, am I safe? Because I'm probably going to lose my job, right? With all these layoffs, right? Most people can't even find a job, right? So, I want, to have kind of that security, that backup plan. But the thing about our business model, it's something that can be scaled up a lot larger. But obviously, when it comes to anything worthwhile, long-lasting, it takes time. It takes effort, right? And the reason we talk about this, and this is something else that I look for in a business partner, is motivation. Why are they here? What are they even looking for? Because I can tell you right now, ever since I started my business at 18 years old to right now, there's been many times where I thought about quitting, where I thought about giving up, where I thought about, is this even worth it? You know what got me through those times? Is this reminder. Looking at this wheel and thinking of, how do I want to live my life 10 years ahead? Because I don't want to be living how I live now, right? Because what I see now, my mom, my dad come home tired. Me, I'm also coming home tired and stuck in traffic, right? That's enough of a reminder for me to keep going, right?
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people, especially young people, they're so living in the moment. That's what I see, here at SJSU, from a lot of business partners as well. A lot of people live in the moment, but they don't have kind of that long-term thinking to, really keep them on track. So that's something, we help people develop. Obviously, you don't need a dream to get started, but this is something my coach always tells me. You don't need a dream to get started, but you need to get started to find a dream.
Find a dream. Yep.
So this is something we want someone always thinking about. Why are they even here? What'll keep them, right?
Yeah.
So moving on past that, you may recognize this cash flow quadrants earlier from Robert Kiyosaki's book. You read about it. How well do you understand it?
I guess I like the basic understanding. Well, not too in depth. It's kind of like how you depict on the slides. That's kind of like my basic understanding of it as of now, but I don't understand it like too in depth.
Right. So yeah, basically, like any way that you make money in this world will be in one of these 4 quadrants. And unfortunately, 95% of the people in this world are on the left side, making active income. Only 5% of us are on the right side, making passive income. But the crazy thing is 95% of the wealth is on the right side. So why are more people on the right side? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it all depends on their values. It all depends, like I said, like we talked about earlier, what life are they looking for? Because if someone were to look at that wheel of values and they tell me all they want is finances, I'm sure they will be perfectly fine in this employee quadrant.
Yeah.
If they weren't looking for personal growth, if they weren't looking for time with their family, if they weren't looking for leaving an impact and legacy, I don't see why they wouldn't be satisfied living as an employee. And I think that's why you see most people, like I said, a vast majority of this world in this quadrant. Me, myself, also in this quadrant right now, right? Not where I want to stay, but it's where I'm at. And the reason for that is because, like I said, you're trading your time for money. You're trading something more valuable for something less valuable. Makes no sense, right?
Yeah.
You can always lose money, make it back, but if you lose your time, it's gone. And the fact that, everybody has 24 hours in the same day, that means your money's limited.
That's true.
Because you're not working on 24 hours. You're working like, what, 8 to 12, maybe? Yeah. That's all you can make, right? Your money's limited because your time is limited. It is kind of crazy because, some people see this as the secure route when obviously you don't know what will happen nowadays. Layoffs, like what, AI, called outsourcing, or even like injuries, right? Recently, a few months ago, my father, he suffered a heart attack. And thankfully he's recovering now, but during that time, he wasn't able to work. There was no money, and he was the primary, provider in our family. So what did that mean? Me and my brother, we had to step up. We had to take more responsibility. And it's, I don't need to see it, from a book. I don't need to hear it from a podcast because I'm experiencing it. I see it myself that I can look at myself 5 to 10 years ahead and realize this is not how I want to live my life. So that's why I decided to just go out and start my own asset, build my own business. So there's 2 different types of ways of building business in the S quadrant and the B quadrant. What do you think is kind of the difference between those 2? Small business and big business?
I guess the difference is that for a big business, you're like kind of like your own boss. Like you kind of like, you just have like the upper leverage, and you kind of like, I guess how I see it is like, you're like, you pay, certain amount of people this much an hour, but you make more. And while for a small business, like you're more uptight, like you don't have like that much creativity. It's kind of more difficult to, be able to, I guess, find workers or people you could trust to help you kind of leverage yourself and leverage your income to greater heights.
Okay. Yeah. So, remember we talked about employees? Everyone has the same 24 hours in the same day. Why are some people able to make more then? Why is someone able to use their 24 hours better than I can use mine? And the reason for that is the thing I talked about earlier, which is scalability.
Yeah.
Okay, you're building an asset. What's the potential with it? How far can this go? Because when it comes to S quadrant, you can think B as what? McDonald's. B is McDonald's. S is kind of like your local burger shack. Let's say Tona's Burgers, right? I can make a mean burger. I can make a better burger than McDonald's. I think I know definitely. But even if I can, I'm not competing. I can't. There's no way that I can. Because, I'm starting with my small little burger shack, where I'm the first person in every morning, and I'm the last one out every night. And the thing about being a small business owner is you get paid last.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, you got to pay your employees. you gotta invest into your business, you are getting paid last.
Yeah.
And the most important part, like I said, scalability. Because if I can make the best burger in California, can I teach Chris how to do the same? If I cut the best hair, if I was the best barber in California, can I teach Javi how to do the same? Because if I can't, then I'm going to be the one stuck cutting everybody's hair.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I'll make a lot of money, but again, I'm not looking for just money. I'm looking for time. I'm looking for freedom. I don't want to spend my time as a barber, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what really, caught my attention about the B quadrant and building a big business, because the name of the game there is this type of assets. You want to build a system.
Mm-hmm.
The name of the game is leverage. It's not just leveraging your 24 hours, but leveraging other people's 24 hours. My favorite example of a long-lasting E-quadrant business is what? Apple, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs has been dead for a long time. Every single year, they still come out with a new iPhone.
Yeah.
That's the type of business I want to run. That's the type of scalability I'm looking for, right? Because my mentor always told me, if you're the smartest person in your organization, if you are the only one that knows everything, you're going to be stuck doing all the work. So what makes it different from the S? So to be honest, I don't want to be the smartest guy. I don't want to know everything. But I want to work with the people that do know.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to know who can cover my weaknesses. How versatile can we be?
Yep.
And when it comes to scaling up this type of business, we're going to talk about it more in a bit, is where one day, just like Steve Jobs, Apple won't need him. The fact that he can't even be on this earth, but the company still grows, that's building a successful system. That's building a system where one day I can make money while I travel, while I sleep. And that's what our end goal is. I'm not going to talk too much about investor quadrant. Like I said, it takes a while before we become investors. For me, like I said, I did day trading. I called myself an investor. My mentor told me straight up, if you still have a job to pay for your investments and you're not living off your money, don't call yourself an investor, because what you're doing is gambling. And it's true. I felt that. Felt like a gambler. It's exactly what it is. So obviously, down the line, it's something I want to look more into. Like I mentioned before, everyone starts business for a different reason. For me, it's just to get enough capital to begin to live off my own investments. But I'm not there yet, right? Which is obviously why I'm still putting so much time and effort into my business. So moving on to the next slide real quickly before we get into more in details about the business model. Just again, talking about why we're programmed to think this way. Why your mom, your teacher never told you that, you should focus on building a source of passive income. Like I said, you were programmed to just work for money. Trade your time for money. It's what's encouraged. Like, think about it. You're considered weird if you don't go to college.
Yeah.
Right? You're considered weird if you drop out of high school. You're considered, doing the wrong thing. And there's no right or wrong. Obviously, people drop out of high school, go on to be homeless. People also drop out of high school and want to be millionaires. People graduate from college, get successful careers and good jobs. People graduate from college and also can go homeless. So obviously, there's no right or wrong, but in the grand scheme of society, apparently there is, right? But and that's why I really resonate with what you said earlier. That fear that people, that really stops people, is because just going away, doing something different than the crowd, doing something different than anyone else. And I feel like if you're someone who wants that 5% lifestyle, you can't listen to the 95%. And that's a big lesson my mentor taught me in entrepreneurship. Another reason, like I said, it doesn't get taught to you at school. And I actually got a funny story for this, because back when I was in high school, I was in my senior year, and I didn't know what major to pick. Like I said, I wasn't sure. And my teacher was helping me. He asked me, what do you like? What are you passionate about? What do you see yourself doing in the future? And during that time was when I was day trading. I asked my teacher which major can teach me about the stock market, which major can teach me how to invest? And he laughed at me. And he told me there wasn't a single major that let you do that. And I overlooked it at the time, but reflecting back at that now, I didn't realize it, but I wanted to major in passive income. Maybe not major in it, but at least learn about it. But unfortunately, it's not provided. It's not something they let you learn about. It's kind of something you have to figure out on your own. Like number 3, it's never been your attention. The reason I found out that I wanted to do something else, because I used to watch these videos of these wealthy people, these wealthy, successful billionaires, and they'd always say, my biggest regret was not investing sooner. And I'm like, okay, at 16 years old, if I start investing now, I'm getting ahead of everybody, right?
Yeah.
But that kind of opened the door for me to fail and learn. But like I said, it's not something my mom and dad ever taught me. All they ever taught me was to study hard in school. So it's something I kind of went out of my way to do more research on, and I'm glad I did, because I've seen some people. Like I said, about a month ago, I talked to a master's student. He had no work experience and didn't even know what path he wanted to take. So at least I realized it now until I was there. Already put the time and money in school into something that I wasn't even sure about. So moving on past that, okay. Now backtracking to what we said, we wanted to build a business in the B quadrant. For some people are okay with S quadrant, right?
Yeah.
For me, I'm looking for B quadrant, and there's many ways to do that. The first one is through traditional business. You ever watched Shark Tank before?
Yeah, I watched Shark Tank before.
You like Shark Tank? Okay, so it's kind of like that, right? Where you come up with a good idea, good product, pitch it to some investors, and see if it can take off. For me, I think I'm probably the least creative person you'll ever meet. There's like, if you were to ask me to come up with an original idea, I don't think there's any way that I could. That's just me, right? So I don't think I'd be so good in traditional business. And it's another thing to come up with the original idea. It's another thing to having the capital and the expertise to make it come to life, to make it be exactly as you imagined it as, right? So there's a lot of variables that go into it, and it's very similar to S quadrant business in the sense that it will take a while. It's very difficult to scale that type of business up. So for some people who are a lot more creative than me, who have a bunch of ideas and things like that, maybe that's for them. For me, not so much, right? So another way is by buying an existing business system, like a franchise, right? Like your own McDonald's, your own Starbucks, your own Subway, whatever it is. You know how much it is to open your own McDonald's?
I like a lot.
It's $1.2 million.
Jeez, that's crazy.
In liquid cash too. That means you can't take a loan on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Gotta have the money.
Gotta have
That's a lot. That's a lot. And even if I had the money, even if I had the 1.2 million in liquid cash, I wouldn't even want my own McDonald's.
Yeah.
And the biggest reason again for that is scalability. I don't like the scalability of it, because let's say you had your successful McDonald's, and I'm like, wow, Javi, that's working good for you. Can I get in on this? Can you help me start my own McDonald's? There's nothing you can help me. The only thing you can do to help me is refer me to the McDonald's headquarters where they can help me open my own McDonald's. If you wanted to scale up your own business, you would have to open another one.
Yeah.
Another 1.2 million. Another 1.2 billion.
Yep.
So the scalability, I didn't really like so much about it. So that's what brought us to our business model, which is the one that we use, the one that talks about more in business of the 21st century, which is network marketing. Have you ever heard of network marketing before?
I guess a little bit of it, but not.
A bit, kind of an idea?
Yeah.
What do you think, just by that name? What do you think kind of entails?
I guess networking marketing might be like, looking into like other individuals with specific skill sets. Whether it be like through like peers and stuff like that, and then like kind of like I guess trying to network with them to see where you could go, like how I guess that individual could help you out within like the business and how you could help them out there like for long term.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll talk about it more in the next coming slides. But for right now, I want to show you, kind of how, I decided that this was the type of business model for me. The first thing, low startup costs. Finally. Back then when I was in my first year, 18 years old, barely any money in my wallet, there's something I can start, right? Another thing is the ability to leverage different platforms, products, and services. Again, I am not creative. I have no creativity to come up with my own product. And I can tell you, from my experience in drop shipping, it's a hassle to find new products, trendy products that are in demand continuously. It's a massive headache. But when it comes to network marketing and partnering with, some of the right companies, is where you get to leverage existing platforms, products, and services. It's a lot nicer to have a company take care of all of that for you and just solely help you focus on scaling up your business. I'm grateful for that. So the scalability is another thing we're going to talk about as well. It's different for every company. And that's, something that I wanted to mention as well is, when it comes to network marketing type of business model, there's many different opportunities, companies, products, and services that you can leverage. But how do you know which is the right one? How do you know which one? The right one is kind of general. What I mean by what the right one means for me is which one will make me successful. Which one will get me to where I want to go.
Yeah.
So that's all something, we're going to talk about in a bit. But real quickly, just to kind of break down what network marketing actually entails, it's a combination of e-commerce and franchising, right? So did you and Chris kind of talk about that a little bit last time?
We kind of touched up on it a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, but basically, it's how you see e-commerce taking over this world. Like Uber, largest taxi company in the world with no cars. Airbnb, the largest rental property company in this world with no real estate. Kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
But the reason for that is because they own the platform. That's all they own. When it comes to starting an e-commerce business, you leverage two things. Technology is the first thing, which is what? Your platform. How everything's able to run online. The fact that you don't need a physical storefront. The fact that you don't need an inventory, employees, that crazy startup cost. Technology, right? Everything's online. The second thing you need is networks. Networks that you can leverage. Like Uber, for example, what are their two networks? Someone with a car who needs money, someone who needs a ride who's willing to pay for one.
Correct.
What does Uber do? They bridge that gap. Airbnb, same thing. Someone with a place, someone who needs a place, bridge the gap. So simple, right? So you can see this is how these e-commerce companies took pretty much everyone else out of business. Like, when was the last time you seen a taxi out on the street?
Hardly.
Yeah. So, you don't see that anymore. It's because e-commerce companies ran them out of business. So now we can go into a little bit of how the franchising kind of works into that. I think my screen froze. Give me 1 second. Yeah, my screen did freeze.
I'm taking a bunch of notes, huh, Javi?
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. That's something I wish I did when I was actually, learning about this. Cause man, after the meeting, I forgot everything.
Yeah, Chris was the guy that asked me right after the meeting. Oh, so what's network marketing?
Yeah. He would pretty much cover everything, and then he'd like, oh, any questions? I'd ask him like everything we went through, and then he'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys can see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. So pretty much, this is kind of the basic philosophy of how network marketing works. Is that, like I said, when it comes to building a network marketing business, is where you get the opportunity to partner with different franchises, different companies. And what these companies found out is that their forms of advertisement weren't so effective. Their forms of marketing their product were not so effective. And I mean, we can see it. Let me ask you, when was the last time you bought something from a YouTube ad? Never?
Nah, actually never.
I don't think I've ever watched a full YouTube ad. Every single time. I will press the skip button every single time. You know, sometimes they don't even have the skip button. You gotta just watch the whole thing. It's like, man.
Yeah.
So, not only have I never bought anything, I won't even watch it.
Yeah, me either.
Okay. What about a billboard? You ever been driving on the freeway, you see a billboard, and you pull over to check it out?
No.
No. Me either. Right? Okay. Well, what about a pop-up ad or like a flyer you saw outside?
No, I'll probably just skim it through
Yeah, you probably look at it, you admire the design, but in reality, it's not working for me.
Yeah.
And the truth is, these companies are spending millions of dollars in these forms of advertisements just for someone like me to not even look at it. Kind of ineffective, right?
Yeah.
So where network marketing comes into play is that these companies realize there's a much more effective way of doing things by paying a prosumer. What a prosumer is somebody that uses different products and services and promotes them and helps market them. And this is a funny concept because this is what people are doing every single day. This is something that it's so normal for people, but the problem is they haven't been receiving any compensation for it. Like if I were to ask you, what type of phone do you use?
Samsung.
Samsung, okay. Why Samsung though?
I like its versatility, model, storage capabilities, battery.
Okay. I see.
Graphics.
I mean, yeah, I told you earlier I was having trouble with my iPhone, but it's still not even up.
Dang.
So I'm looking. Yeah, you can see it right there. I'm looking for a new phone. So you know what? I think I'm gonna go out and buy a Samsung. And you said it was easy to use, right?
Yeah.
My family, you know, they're kind of older. They need phones that are easier to use. So I think I'm gonna get, you know, a Samsung for them too. So I'm gonna go to the store tomorrow and get 4 Samsung phones. You just help them sell 4 phones.
Oh, okay.
You helped them. They didn't sell it to me. You sold it to me. Now let me ask you: Did you get paid for that?
No.
And how do you feel about that?
Kind of booked out.
Yeah, right? Like you feel kind of used. Yeah. Right? I sold those 4 phones, so where's your commission?
Yeah.
Where's the money you get? Kind of unfair, but in reality, this is what people are doing every single day. Another example I love is the Popeyes chicken sandwich. I don't know if you remember, but during those times, it was crazy viral thing. And I remember everyone at school talking about it. I'm like, you know what? I need to go check it out. After school, I went to Popeyes. I bought the sandwich. I ate it. And I'm like, they got me. Right?
They got me.
Because I never saw a commercial about it. I never saw a flyer or anything. I just heard everybody talk.
Yep.
That's true.
This, you know, putting it into perspective, you can see how word of mouth marketing is a lot more effective than those traditional methods these companies used to use. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Because, you know what, in reality, when you look at an advertisement, they're always going to say like the best things about the product, all the benefits, why it's good, things like that. But, you know, we know it's not all that. So what we look for is what are people saying, right? Like people go on Yelp, right? Look at reviews and stuff. That's how people are. That's kind of like the philosophy of what, you know, how humans work. So if I were to think about a product, I would be more likely to trust from you. Because what? We met, you know, I trust your judgment. You're not someone that's going to promote a bad phone to me. I would rather trust your judgment on whether it's good or not, depending on the ad or whatever that they put out, right? So that's just kind of how human works. Kind of funny. But does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Kind of how like network marketing works. Okay, so now we can kind of dive deeper into how to make money in the network marketing business. Because like I said, you're gonna get access as long as you partner with a good company. You'll be able to leverage their different products and services. And the first way to make money is through retail margin. Very simple concept. It's essentially what the difference between the cost of the product and the retail price they sell it at. When you get a chance to partner with a company, you will get products at the cost, a much cheaper price. And the fact that you're able to sell them to make retail margin, there's already some money right there. So this is another thing, I say, you should definitely look out for is what products and services are offered. Because what we're looking to build is a sustainable business. Like I said, I want something that'll last. When was the last time you bought a new phone?
Probably like 3 years ago.
3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Well, what about a new laptop?
Same thing.
Same thing, right?
Yeah.
Like there's certain products that people buy every few or so years, right? And I don't want my business kind of to depend on that, which is why, I decided to partner with a company that focuses on daily consumption products. Because again, what I'm looking for is sustainability. Mm-hmm. I want, like I said, during job shipping, you'll only, look for what's trending, what's in the market, right? Things like that. But they're not looking at, what will kind of keep it sustainable, will keep the business running, long term. So like I said, we focus on, daily consumption products, and it makes me feel confident, that anytime, I can refer somebody to my website, that there is something on there that I can help them with. There's a certain need that I can help fulfill for them, right?
Yep.
And it all comes down to, like I said, the different, daily consumption products. There's always like different pandemics, different economies crashing. I mean, you remember during the last, COVID, what were people going crazy for? Like toilet paper.
Yep. Toilet paper, bro.
Nobody was rushing to get themselves a new iPhone or a new laptop. They were focused on those daily essentials.
Water.
Because, yeah, man, water too, exactly. If you think about it, regardless if there's COVID-19 or the economy crashes, are people going to stop washing their clothes?
Nah.
Are people going to stop brushing their teeth? Hopefully not.
Hopefully, yeah.
That's the thing I would hope. So you can see that there's certain products out there that will always be in demand, that people will always look for.
Correct.
And those are the same, products and services that I use, right? So it makes more sense to me to switch up my shopping habits into my own business. Because these like gym supplements, these energy drinks, these vitamins, these hair care products, my skincare too is all money I've been giving away to rival stores when now I have the opportunity to make money using my own products.
Exactly.
It's very smart. Right? But obviously, it's only smart once you get to see what is the product, what is the service, what is the quality of it. So that's something you want to, it's not something we're going to go too in detail right now, but I'm letting you know that's something you want to be well aware of, something you want to pay attention to when you see it down the line. Another thing is that when it comes to the business that we focus on, we maintain a 180-day customer satisfaction guarantee, which is pretty insane because, like, for Walmart, for Costco, how long do they give you?
Like a 30-day.
Like, yeah.
30-day, yeah, with the receipt. Right?
Unopened or like not used.
Unopened. Exactly, right? All these rules and stuff like that. And we do 6 months. I mean, what does that tell you about our type of business?
More trusted.
Yeah, you can see it is that we are very confident in
yeah.
our products and services.
Mm-hmm.
That I will let somebody try something for 6 months, and if they aren't satisfied, they can be fully reimbursed.
Yep.
I'm confident because I know it won't happen often.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you from my experiences, it's not something I've encountered often. And that brings me a lot of confidence. But again, that's another thing. Obviously, you have to still, see for yourself when you're determining different qualities of products and services. And again, training and association is provided. This comes down to something more important, which is mentorship that we talked about earlier. Because anybody could start this type of business, but only few people know how to take it in the right direction, how to do it the right way. And that's something we're going to talk about in a bit because, like I said, I started my business when I was 18 years old in my first year of college. I was kind of an introvert. I was kind of someone who was really shy back then. Even still now, someone who doesn't really talk much. Can you tell that from me?
Not really, no.
Not really, right? But most people can't. Most people can't anymore. And the reason for that is because I didn't push myself to change. My mentor and my coach did. They made me understand that if this doesn't change about you, your business will not grow.
Yep.
Made sense. Something I was very willing to change. So again, that's just a little bit about retail margin, but now going into some of the other ways to make money in a network marketing business. The first is through our performance bonus schedule. This is another important thing that you really want to pay attention to. Just to be clear, when it comes to our business, we are paid based off performance, not by position.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You ever been working? You know what? I remember one time I was working and I would turn to my right and I see my coworker on their phone. All the customers, a huge rush, and they're over there texting on their phone, or they're over there, talking with another coworker, just messing around. And I'm just like, why? Right? Makes you mad, makes you angry. And I want to complain, but I know at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because we all get paid the same. Bummer, right? Maybe I should have been the one on my phone, right?
Yeah.
I always thought that was unfair. So thankfully for our business, it's an opportunity where you get paid based off your performance, not based off where you stand in your position. If this is something that's easy for you, if you're better than me, if you're better than Chris, then we're not the one to tell you you won't get paid more. You most definitely will. Pretty fair opportunity, right? But obviously that performance bonus schedule is different for every company that you partner with. That's something very important you want to look for as well. And the last way, which is another thing that's different for every company you want to determine for yourself, is the leadership bonus. And this is where the franchise aspect comes into play. Because up to this point, you're aware, right, that you've been going through our selection process, right? It's the same selection process that I took Chris through. Because I met Chris, we actually met on LinkedIn, and we connected, we talked with each other, and once I got to meet him, once I got to hear his story, what he was looking for in business, is where I decided to introduce him to my mentor. And that's where you see today, he's been the one who's helped us grow and scale our business up to what it looks like today, right? So it's the same process that I went through, that my business coach took me through, and this is how we determine, is this someone we should do business with? Is this someone we see ourselves going with the long term? Because I don't want to do business with just anybody. I have a high standard on who I call my business partner. Let's get more technical. Let's say, for example, right now you finish the process. Congratulations. 7-step selection process, you're done. Big party, it's a big celebration. You get started. You can sign up, get access to our products and services, our platform, and start growing your business. You signed up now. Let me ask you, how much money do you think Chris made from that?
Probably $30.
$30, okay. How much money do you think I made from that? Just take a guess.
50.
50? Okay. You want to know how much I actually make?
How much?
Zero. Based on that, okay, how much do you think Chris will make now?
Probably zero.
Zero.
Yeah.
Exactly. What does that mean? There's no benefit if you sign up right now. The only way that I can benefit is not by getting you started, it's by getting you started and helping you succeed.
Yeah.
It is a win-win situation because I don't make any money if I can't help you make money.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
So this is what I mean by I have a high standard of who I call a business partner because I'm looking for somebody who's willing to honor their side of the partnership. Because I'm not just going to invest my time and my efforts into somebody who's not in it for real, who's not serious about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we have our selection process to kind of determine, is this someone we should do business with? Because, okay, my goal is not to get somebody started. I have to help them succeed. I have to help them grow their business. That's kind of why you see, here today, well, Chris invited me to meet with you to show you a little bit more about the business model. But eventually down the line, he's going to be able to do it, explain it himself, right? He's going to be able to, because what? I showed him how.
Yeah.
I can teach someone how to do it. It's not that difficult, right? To know your business, the ins and outs, and kind of explain how it works. And this is some of the common, questions that we have when it comes to this type of business. Because when it comes to the sponsoring concept, does that make sense though? The win-win situation?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, any questions about that?
I guess one of the questions I have is there like a percentile in play when it comes to like the partnership, or like I guess more specifically if an individual does like specific sales or has a good performance, is there like a percentile range?
Yeah, there is. So that's what I mean by the performance bonus schedule. And it's something, we're not going to go too in detail about today, but it's something, you're going to see down the line. And like I said, that's something you should pay attention to. So down the line, we will, show you that maybe in the next step of the process. And then if it still doesn't make sense, then you can ask again and we'll clarify it for you. Because there's a lot of information that goes into it, which is why we're only covering just the basics of the business model today. But yeah, there's a lot more that goes into it. But what I wanted to talk about was, when it comes to this sponsoring concept, the fact where I help Chris, I get a royalty fee from his business. Chris helps you get a royalty fee from your business if, he helps you succeed. There's a lot of misconceptions out there about what type of business model it is that we're running, right? Because there's been many different instances when it comes to illegal businesses. Sketchy types of business models, right? Have you ever heard of like a pyramid scheme before?
Not really, no.
Not really? Okay. So it's actually, a type of business model where, I can just show you on the next slide because this is something we're going to talk about. It's essentially a business model where the person at the top makes the most money and the people below them don't have an opportunity to earn them. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So what that is an illegal business model where people are paid to recruit people, to join the business. Right? It's actually funny because you do, okay, you have
I heard those,
Do you have any experience before?
Not really, but I did see I guess like posted like people saying, oh, you should join us. We help you. We will mentor you and we'll help market you, stuff like that.
Okay. So yeah, kind of something you're aware of before.
Yeah.
Because I actually did have experience with one before.
Oh, really?
And it was actually back in high school, my senior year of high school. I played football, and this was after our season. It was in one of my classes. One of my old teammates, he came up to me, and he was like, Tona, guess what? You'll never believe it, bro. I promise. If you give me $500, I will triple it in 2 weeks.
Oh,
That's what he told me.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You
That's
think I
good.
gave him the money? You think I gave it to him?
I hope not.
I didn't. No, I didn't. Because even me, I would look at that and say, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Something's not right. I'm a little bit skeptical. And, fast forward, he found out he was in a pyramid scheme. Him and all the people he recruited that he got to give them money, they all found out that they were getting scammed. They all quit, and the whole thing fell apart.
That's crazy.
So that's what I mean by people have different misconceptions when it comes to, like I said, that sponsoring concept on, is this a type of illegal business? And we're the ones, that are here to tell you it's not, but we obviously want to show you what to look out for. How can you determine, is this a legal business model or not? Because I can tell you right now, if you were to search up network marketing online, you would see a lot of good things. You would also see a lot of bad things. So,
Yeah.
and it makes sense, right? When it comes to anything that's big in this world, that's what you're going to find. Like if I searched up Taylor Swift, I would find her supporters. I would also find a lot of her haters.
Yeah, that's true.
So what I look for in a business partner is that they are able to evaluate a business based on facts and numbers.
Yeah.
Not by opinion. Because I can tell you, the only thing free in this world is your opinion. Anyone can put it out there.
Yeah.
But like I said, what I look for when it comes to a business, right? Maybe other things like, haircut or like preferences in food, maybe I'll listen to opinion. When it comes to a business, something that'll actually contribute to my future, something that I actually have to spend time and effort into, I'm looking at facts. I'm looking at numbers, right? So what I want to show you is what are those things you should look out for to determine, is this a legal or an illegal type of business model? But before I get into that, I also kind of find it funny, because the job is also that pyramid model, right? Because you're an employee. Do you make more than your manager? No, right? Manager doesn't make more than the boss. Boss doesn't make more than the owner. So you got to make some most money. It's kind of funny, right? But that isn't considered a legal business model. Anyways, back into what I was going to talk about. This is what you want to look out for. The number one thing. The most important thing. Pretty much one of the only things you want to look at. The most obvious red flag to determine, is this a pyramid scheme or an actual type of business model, is the primary source of income. Where is the money coming from? That's the number one thing you want to look at. Because when it comes to a pyramid scheme, they make money based on recruitment. They make money based on recruitment. If you sign up, I get what? This type of bonus. Chris gets this type of bonus. But like we told you before, that's not the case. But let's kind of zoom out a little bit. Let me ask you, just this is a time we can kind of get to know each other. Talk a little bit about how we're feeling. Let me ask you, up to this point, have you felt recruited?
Not really, no. Just like very informative.
Okay, and why is that?
I feel like I'm being presented with more facts than just like, you could get. I guess like there's not a lot of sales type of facts being presented to me, but more so just like basic facts of like a business structure. Okay,
yeah. I mean, you're right. You do have the right mindset of it, but if we were to generalize it, then it is recruitment, right? There's no question about that. But what I let people know that it's not about the recruitment, because your job recruited you.
Yeah.
Your school recruited you.
Yeah.
There is recruitment going on every single day. But it's not about the recruitment. The question is, what comes after the recruitment? Because you get recruited by your school. Congratulations. You still have to apply. You still have to write those essays for the UC, right?
Yeah.
You still have to submit your transcript. If you get recruited by your job, congratulations. You still have to go to an interview. You still aren't guaranteed the job. Even right here, okay, let's say you got recruited. You haven't been guaranteed anything.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee you will be my mentor. There is no guarantee that we will be business partners. So it's fair to say that it's recruitment, but I'm not worried about that. I'm worried what comes after. Because like I said, if I wanted you to sign up for our business, then Chris would have had you do it last time.
Yeah,
when you guys met.
Yeah.
Right?
The first time, like, hey, bro.
Why
sign
would
it.
I? Yeah, no, but like seriously, why would Chris want to invest our time? Like you said, even throughout all of this, even if you sign up, we won't get paid.
Exactly.
Right? Until we help you succeed. But the reason me and Chris are so willing to invest our time to inform someone, to teach someone what this can do for them, is because we know that eventually we will find the right business partner.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is a worthwhile investment for me. So basically, like I said, we aren't trying to recruit anybody. Like you said, I actually like how you put it, because that's essentially what I do. I just put information out there. I just let people know how to make a logical decision, and then our process is a chance for us to test it.
Yeah.
Is someone going to use their critical thinking? Can someone make a logical decision? But back to the main point, yeah, that's how these types of business models, pyramid schemes, make money, is through recruitment. Is by let's say Chris signs up, I get a bonus from that. Chris, signed you up, he gets a bonus from that. It's that's that type of business. But for our business, the income is generated through the sales of the products and services. That's why I mentioned it earlier. The quality of those products and services matters a lot. Matters a lot. Because if you were to ask yourself, are people actually buying this? The answer is probably no. And what does that mean? That business is probably not making a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? Where are they making the money? Probably from recruitment. So that's why I say what you want to look at very in detail is the products and services and the quality of it. If there's no products and services, just walk away.
Yeah.
That's like a red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's like pretty much the most important thing you want to look for. Another thing is sustainability, because pyramid schemes, like I said, are illegal. They are actively being shut down by the government every single day. The company that me and Chris partner with has been around since 1959.
That's crazy.
During that time, from then until now, you think they went through some type of allegations, some type of accusations about what type of business we're running? Most definitely.
Yeah.
Right? But we're still here.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, I think that speaks enough of itself, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, again, it's the legality of these businesses. Like I said, they're illegal, actively being shut down. But what I want to talk about is why we have to talk about this. How do you think, this type of business, got this type of reputation? And the reason for that is because network marketing has come a long way. It's been around since like the 1940s. And back then, there was no e-commerce, right? How can you run an e-commerce business with no e-commerce? So you can see that they were building business a lot different than the way we do now. It was that shift from like the network marketing 1.0 phase to where we are now in network marketing 2.0.
That's true. Yeah.
And the biggest thing that separates us is our mentorship. That's the number one thing. That's another one of those crucial things you want to look for as well, is mentorship.
Correct.
Who are these people? What are they doing? Where are they going? What are they promoting? That's what you want to look for in detail as well. Because I can tell you right now, let's say the company that you partner with, the platform, the products and services that you have, all of that is just the platform. All of that is just the vehicle. But who's going to show you how to drive it?
That's true.
Who's going to show you where to go? All that comes down to the mentorship. because back then they had nobody knowing how to run this type of business.
Yeah.
Right? That's why they were building business in the wrong ways. But throughout that time, where our business has evolved, the mentorship has also evolved. And thankfully, we have access to people who are showing us how to build the business in the right way.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like I said, it's just a platform.
Mm.
And like I mentioned before, you can see a lot of different, information about it online. But a lot of it, like I said, I really want somebody who makes decisions based on facts, not opinions, right? Because what I see is, people post, oh, maybe network marketing didn't work. This company was this. I spent a lot doing that. Different types of things. But people don't know truly how to evaluate that type of information. Like if I were to say, UC Merced's a terrible school. You want to know why? Because my brother, my sister went there and they didn't graduate. That's why I think UC Merced's a terrible school. You think that's fair for me to say?
Not really.
Not really, right? I don't think so as well, because people actually graduate from UC Merced. They go on to have very successful careers.
Yeah.
But, that's not how I feel.
Yeah.
People don't ask why, right? Because something I didn't mention, my brother and my sister never went to class. They never did their assignments. That would have been important to mention, right?
Yeah.
But I left it out. Someone like you would ask, hey, that's unfair to say. I need more context. But other people would look at what I said and be like, yeah, I don't want my kid going to UC Merced. And this is what I mean, but what I see, young people are very influenced by information they see online, which is why, this is something that we have to talk about. I'm okay when people are skeptical. To be honest, if I were taking someone through the process and they didn't have questions about this, I would be even more alarmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you see this and you have no questions, I encourage skepticism. I encourage those difficult questions. I love it when people confront me because I know exactly what to tell them.
Yeah.
I know exactly what to show them on how to prove, our type of business is different from anything else out there. But all I ask from people is that they keep an open mind.
Yeah, that's true.
Because sometimes people see just pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Don't even give me a chance to explain.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I do explain, and they're so close-minded it goes in one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? At that point, it's not even worth my time to talk to someone. I would rather just, leave the meeting and just have them think whatever, because it's not even worth my time explaining to them. But if someone is willing to bring me questions, ask me how exactly does this work, hey, I saw this online, what does it mean, I saw this, I heard this, and they're willing to hear what I have to say, I am most wanting to, we can definitely have a sit-down conversation to talk about it.
Gotcha.
Right? Like I said, I never try and convince anyone to join my business. I simply put the information out there, and I want to see, can someone make a logical decision?
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So, again, the business itself is just a platform. It's just a platform. It's the same for everybody. The question is on how you can grow it is who you follow. What's the mentorship? Like if I had a knife, if I had a sharp knife and I gave it to a serial killer, what's he gonna do?
Kill someone.
He kill a bunch of people, right? Okay. Same knife, same sharp knife, I gave it to a chef. What's he gonna do?
Use it to cook food.
Yeah, he's gonna make a great meal. Same sharp knife, I gave it to a surgeon. What's he gonna do?
Perform surgeries with it.
Gonna help save someone's life, right? So I don't think the knife is so bad, but it's about the person holding it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for our business. It's not that the business is bad, it's who's behind the business. How are they building it? Yeah. So that's why, I kind of gave you a lot of things that you should look out for. All of those things should help you determine, are they doing it the right way? What are they doing with this type of business? So yeah, that's something you all. It's not we're gonna go, like I said, we're not gonna go too in detail about it, but it's something you should definitely keep in mind. At this point, do you have any questions, any thoughts on your mind?
Uh, the thing is that I have to go quickly to take a phone call. Would it be cool if I leave for like 5 minutes?
Oh, yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
I mean, does that have to be right now, or you think we can finish up quick?
It has to be right now because it was supposed to be
Like
at
your mom
5:30.
or something?
For a doctor's appointment, but you should like
Okay.
you should
Yeah,
take
no
like,
worries.
quick.
Yeah, go ahead and take care of that.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll be back like within 5 minutes. Is that cool with you guys? Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. Give me a moment.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
145 plus 77. 145 plus 77, 222.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, Christopher. Sorry about that.
Nah, you're good. How's
There's been
everything? Are
like
you
really
okay?
bad.
Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good. Just like the internet so far has been like really crappy. So.
For sure, for sure.
All good?
Yeah, all good. Thank you for that.
All right. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Where were we?
Uh,
I
I
think
guess we're not because we're talking about the pyramid scheme.
Mm.
then we touched up kind of on mentorship. What are they promoting after that? I think we were like almost done with the slide. Uh, the legality, sustainability. We kind of covered all four of those
Uh-huh.
bullet points,
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
we're
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to see. Did you have any questions or
yeah.
any thoughts, or how do you feel when you see something like this?
Um, I guess the first thing that came to mind is like the honesty of the structure. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like is it like a for sure credible kind of system that could really be, I guess, trustable like for a long period of time?
Mm. So yeah, the specific numbers that go into it, it's not something we're going to show you, in this slideshow, but it'll be something that you'll get to see for yourself in the next step of the process when you get to see the full business plan.
Okay.
So like I said, all those specific details that I told you you should pay attention to. I'm not going to show you too much of it today, but when you see the full business plan is where you'll get to see it for yourself.
Okay.
And there's going to be a lot of information, which is why, like I said, just try your best and know as much as you can down. But any questions that you have, you can come back and ask me, ask Chris, right? Because, like I said, I encourage that open discussion, so we can, kind of hear from both sides.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So, in terms of the next step of the process, it's like I said, where you'll get to see the business plan and see all the. Like I said, I'm looking for someone who makes decisions based on facts and numbers. But today, I haven't shown you so much of the facts and numbers. So, the next opportunity where you get to see our business plan would actually be on Tuesday, which would be here in Fremont, actually. Well, I live in Fremont. I'm from San Jose. I live in Fremont, which we're having an in-person seminar. And I know Chris and a few of our other business partners over there in Merced are actually driving up for that event on Tuesday. And that's the meeting essentially where you'll not only get to see the full business plan, but you'll get to see the people.
Yeah.
You'll get to see me. You'll get to see my coach. You'll get to see some of the people that have shaped me to who I was, to who I am today. And that's honestly one of the biggest things you want to look for as well. Obviously, the business model as well also is, who are the people? Where do they come from? And what value did they see in this business? Like I said, everyone starts business for a different reason. For us, we're students. There's a lot of full-time professionals. There's a lot of international students. But we all have a common dream, a common vision, which is freedom.
Yeah.
Success. Right? So that's why I would always recommend the in-person seminars, because I can tell you it's a lot different than just joining on Zoom behind a monitor. I mean, you can tell Chris, because we're over here, but the large majority of the team is located here in San Jose, which is why I get to see my mentor, my coach very often. Get to see all the people. We can help each other out. But for someone like Chris, when he started off, it was just him over there in Merced. So he had to join the meeting, on Zoom by himself, and then we see our little, it's our little watch party. We're all having fun, talking with each other, and you feel kind of left out. Thankfully, now we have a lot more business partners over there in Merced. I don't know if you've met any of them or Chris introduced you to any of them, but you will get chances to. And then often they come drive up here to meet with the big team. And Tuesday is the next one on our schedule. So if you are free on Tuesdays, On Tuesday, it'll be at 7 p.m. But I know you guys will be driving from Merced. Chris, you guys gonna leave around like 4:30,
Yeah,
something
we'll
like
probably leave
that.
around like 4.
And then come back the same night. I would definitely say it's a worthwhile investment because, like I said, I just told you what to look out for. But to see it for yourself, I think that would be a great opportunity.
Gotcha.
Are you free usually on Tuesdays?
Usually I am. I guess the only thing is I don't have, I guess, my own personal car. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, Chris and some of our other team members in Merced, they kind of carpool together, right?
Yeah.
It is a far drive.
Yeah.
And then with gas and things accounted for, they all kind of split amongst each other. So I believe there's 2 cars coming on Tuesday. But Chris, I know you can arrange a spot. If Javi were to come, you can arrange a spot for him, right?
No, yeah, definitely. So I know in my car I can fit 5 people, and I mean, like, let's say you're available to come, you have that time frame free. Then yeah, I mean, there's definitely a spot for you in my car. We can, I can definitely drive you, bring you back. Since you're learning about the process, since you're still very new to this. I'm not gonna charge you anything because you're still learning, and that's something that I'd say like our mentorship is really big on too. Like I'd say we don't believe that we should pay to learn for mentorship. We believe it should be earned. So I'm not gonna charge you for it, but definitely for the other guys they're gonna get charged. But no, yeah,
it's a far drive, and the gas expense. But yeah, I mean, I hope Chris has made it clear up to this point that throughout the process they won't be charged anything. You shouldn't be charged anything.
Yeah.
So Chris tries to ask you. If Chris tries to ask you for that 20, then don't give it.
Hey, watch out for Tona, because when we go in person, he's gonna be like, "Hey, so pay the entrance fee." Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Now for guests, it's free.
There is an entrance fee, but for candidates going through the process like yourself, it won't be something you have to worry about.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I ask you for money, be alarmed. Okay?
Yeah.
Ask you for money, be alarmed. Okay. But yeah, I definitely, Chris, the ride is something that's taken care of, and then you guys would come back the same night, right?
Yeah, we come the
Right
same
after.
night. I mean, we have classes the next day. The only I'd say thing about it is we most likely we will be coming back a little late, maybe like 12, 1 in the morning. But I mean, we're college students. We're kind of used to staying up late. Yeah. So that shouldn't be an issue. But
that's rookie numbers.
Yeah, that's rookie numbers. I mean, you should see us when we have back-to-back meetings. Sometimes it's pretty late. But no, yeah. But yeah, I mean, are you free on Tuesday then? So maybe we could,
Yeah, I think I should be free on Tuesday.
You don't have any classes or anything interfering?
Not really, no. I
Okay.
should be good on that.
Okay, for sure. No, yeah. Just so I can have that spot reserved for you in my car, cause
Okay, cool.
I like to have the confirmation now, because last time we went to a trip, I have a 5-seating car. We had to put 6 people in there because last minute someone confirmed, and I'm like, oh man, I was gonna have to put someone in the trunk, but now we were able to squeeze in. It was uncomfortable, but I don't want that to happen, so I want to just plan it out, as early as possible. But for sure, yeah, I'll have your seat reserved then, and also for the meeting on Tuesday too, I'll let them know so we can save you a seat in the front row.
Okay, cool. For the meeting, do you have to dress professionally or?
Yeah, so that's actually something I was going to add on to right now. It is going to be business professional. I know we're in business society, so I don't think I need to tell you what business professional is. Suit, tie, dress pants, dress shoes, have a belt. If you do need anything, I have some extra blazers, some extra dress shirts. But do you have business professional?
Yeah, I do. I usually take a gray blazer, gray dress suit.
Okay, no, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure then, yeah. I mean, yeah, you could just wear that. And then something I'd recommend too, I can maybe remind you to maybe more early on that day, because something that what people tend to forget is bring a notebook and a pen, because you're going to want to take notes. I know for me, myself, I took notebook and a pen. Man, I had 3-4 pages of notes my first time I went to one of these meetings, and I forgot everything. So if I didn't write it down, I would have just forgotten it. But yeah, so I feel that's important. And then yeah, I mean, you'd get to meet Tona, a lot of the association, and I feel that's what impacted me the most, because yes, like the business, the company, all the numbers are it's really impressive, it's really cool, but I was mostly impacted by meeting the people there, hearing everybody's stories, why they started the business. Because if I'm being completely honest, yeah, I said like my why, I wanted to help out my family, I wanted to be financially free, but when I was really able to hear other people's stories, I was like able to really sharpen mine and like kind of refine it, because it was very vague and broad at first, but yeah, it's like a great networking opportunity to meet these other people from different backgrounds. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you don't have any other questions or concerns, I mean, Tona, I was gonna ask you. Um, um, I know Javi's reading. He finished the video, and oh, Javi, you said you also took notes on it too, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Should we send him? I was thinking maybe another like material, or should we just like
Yeah,
let
you
him
can send
finish
him.
the
Yeah, you can
book?
send him another video, and yeah, I think finishing the rest of that book that'll give you more insight, maybe more questions as well about network marketing, how it works. But like I said, any questions, concerns, skepticisms, feel free to bring them up to me, to Chris, because we're more than willing to talk about it. And yeah, you can send him another video from Phil's, and hopefully you can have that done before the seminar on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, something else actually I just remembered. I was gonna ask if if we could make a group chat. I know me and Javi kind of just text. I say like with phone numbers, but I feel like since Javi's gonna come to board, he's gonna come to our meeting on Tuesday. I think it'd be best if maybe we made a group chat. We can all stay in communication, and let's say he does have any questions that maybe arise this weekend. We can help him answer them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Are you on Facebook, Javi?
Uh, I mostly just use LinkedIn. LinkedIn messages.
So yeah, we use Facebook
Facebook.
Messenger because that's the platform we use to communicate with all of our coaches, our mentors, all of our business partners, the big group chats as well. So
Okay.
definitely down the line, it's something you want to have.
Okay. Yeah, most definitely. I also use Facebook as well, Messenger.
Yeah, you need the
Yeah.
Messenger app. It's like
Yeah,
two different things.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
the Messenger app.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and send that to Chris, and we can go ahead and make a group chat on there. And then, like you said, we can send you the next material. Any questions or concerns, feel free to bring up on there. But other
Okay,
than
yeah,
that,
for sure.
yeah, any questions or anything?
I guess, for the conference on Tuesday, I guess what are some things to look out for, or like, I guess what are some self awareness techniques that to kind of, I guess, make sure I'm aware of, or like any networking tips.
Yeah. So pretty much what you want to do is get there early. Right, I know with traffic and everything for you guys it's a little bit harder, but you definitely want to get there early before the meeting starts because, like I said, maybe I'll be there. I'll introduce you to some people I know, and when it comes to talking to people, what you want to ask them is, ask them why they're there. Right? What value did they see in the business? Like I said, people come from different backgrounds. Me and Chris are business students, but you'll meet people with a computer science background, with a medical field, or engineering, or whatever it is. But somewhere along the way, they realized that their original path wasn't going to get them all they wanted, and somehow it brought them here.
Yeah.
So, you want to get different reference points from people on what they're doing here and what the business has done for them. That's definitely my most important thing. And as a candidate in the process, another good question you can ask is, what advice would you have? Because at one point, everyone was just like you.
Yeah.
Everyone in that room was at one point a candidate going through the process, unsure if this is something they should allocate their time and effort into. So you should ask them, what changed it for you? What made you decide to go all in on this? Or, what's some advice you have for a candidate currently going through the process? And the thing about everyone there, I can tell you right now, they're very welcoming, very nice people. No one will judge you. No one will, give you bad advice. We all understand we're all in the city. We're all mostly college students as well. my expectation became a big business conference. I'm talking about like, uncles and grandpas and it's pretty surprising to see it's a majority of college students, young professionals,
young professionals
to do something different. That's something you want to maybe ask them, and then the meeting will start, and we'll go ahead and for first timers seeing the business plan for the first time, we say reserve seats for them in the front row, and actually the speaker for the conference will be our business coach.
Yeah,
the one that actually took me through the selection process when I was a candidate 2 years ago. Her name is Kwan. She's Vietnamese background, similar like my mentor, and she's the one that literally, also changed my life, changed my business, changed my life. She was the one that, motivated me to want something more. So I'm glad, you get to be hearing the business plan from her. And then after the meeting ends, we can have a little follow-up meeting, introduce you to some more people. And overall, it's something you want to see for yourself, right? I can only tell you from my experiences, but everyone's different. So, we'll be there as well, helping guide you around and things like that. That's pretty much, what to expect.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I wrote those questions down, so I should have them in handy when the time comes.
Yeah, and anything other than that, then I think we can just go ahead and wrap up here, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So then.
All right, Javi, it was nice meeting you. Yeah.
It was nice meeting you.
Hope to see you on Tuesday.
Yeah, sounds perfect. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
All right. Go ahead and wrap up here, but I'm gonna go ahead and get going, guys.
Okay.
Any plans for the rest of today?
I guess for me, not much. I guess catching up on some homework assignments. About it.
Yeah, I just gotta do some homework for Econ 121, and then I'm probably gonna go back home for the weekend. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, I haven't gone home in a while, so my mom's like, "Ya venga para la casa." Like, I'm like, you've been out there too long. You gotta come back, but. But yeah, I'm gonna go drive. It's like 2 hours driving, so yeah. With traffic, like 3 sometimes, but hopefully, I was waiting for like the rain to stop, but yeah, I should probably get home later tonight, but I'm gonna finish up my homework assignment before I go, and yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Let's hear that.
But yeah, I mean, the meeting was already pretty long. I don't want to drag it on any longer, but yeah, I mean, we can just end it here. You guys have a good rest of your day, and then
perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, have a good one.
All right,
Sounds good. Thank you.